Hello, everyone. My name is Julie. I'm B2B communication manager at Anywhere, in charge of communication of customers and prospects all around the world. I'm very, very happy to see you to our webinar. Here today, we are talking about APAC recruitment and mobility trends. So I'm joined with three wonderful Anywhere experts and their partner. So let me introduce them just here. Hello, everyone. So,
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
thank you, Lei.
Hi, everyone.
They are not wake up yet. So I'm joined by three wonderful Anywhere experts, as I said. So representing Vietnam, we have with us Tien Ho, who is APAC Regional Business Developer. For China, we'll hear from Lei Fu, Manager China and APAC. And representing immigration in India, our expert, Atish Nair, who is Manager Business Developer. We will have two wonderful partners with us, Angel Kwan, sorry for that, sorry for the pronunciation, Angel, who is co-founder of AMV United Consulting Company. And then we have another wonderful partner who is Marco Winkler, who is sales director APAC from Horizon Company. So thank you, all of you. Then, during this webinar, just let me sum up you what we are going to talk about. So we will have a quick presentation of Anywhere Company, my company. We will have an overview of recruitment in the APAC region with Tien. We will see the recruitment trends in APAC, challenges and solutions. We will talk about EOR solution with Marco of Horizon Company. We will then focus on the Indian market in terms of immigration and data with Atish. And then we will have a conversation between Angel and Lei about immigration in China in 2023. And then at the end of the webinar, we will have a session of Q&A session. So if you want to talk about any question, if you want to ask about any question, you can ask them in your screen at the right. You have a chat that we can ask the question. You can ask any interrogation or question all over the webinar. And we will do a final Q&A session at the end of the session. So don't worry, if I don't read yet your question, it will be reading at the end of the session, okay? So feel free to ask your question. And here come the presentation of Anywhere with Tien Ho. So just let's enjoy this webinar, and I'm very, very happy to share it with you. Come on, guys.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you so much for your introductions. And thank you, everyone, for your time to attend this webinar. I really hope that everyone will enjoy it and take away as much as possible some of the most useful information for you. Now, just let me take a moment to introduce about myself and also about our company, Anywhere. So my name is Tien, and I am currently based in Vietnam and working as a regional business developer focusing in APAC. Over the past 2 years, I have a privilege of working with a diverse clients on various projects. So today I'm really proud to be a part of this webinar to share some valuable insights on APAC recruiting for this year and also to learn more from all of the speakers that we have today. Now, just let me give you a glimpse of our story at Anywhere. So for the past 10 years, we have built a remarkable teams of over 1,000 experts across 15 countries, including recruitment, consultant, immigrations, relocations, and training. We are proud to be a digital leader in recruitment and professional mobilities, and we also offer a highly digitalized 360-degree HR service that covers your talent search, your mobility support, and training on a global skills. So let's see what our extensive range of services license. The first one, we have spot recruitment. We help you to find the right talents for your business anywhere in the world based on the global network of recruiters and a database of millions of the candidates we already have. Next, we also have Move, professional mobility. We help you to manage the mobility of your employees from finding a new job in another country and providing relocation assistance. And last but not least, we also offer growth training. We help you to develop your employee skills and knowledge so your employees can stay ahead in today's competitive marketplace. At Anywhere, and also for me, we firmly believe in our motto, talent is borderless. We understand that placing the right talents in the right positions can be a life-changing. That's why we place importance on caring for our talents and also clients, and we make sure that everyone who has the opportunity to shine on their best stage. Now, let's wrap up these presentations about Anywhere, make it more lively by a video about Anywhere.
Yes, let me just show you the video.
Requires a lot of paper.
At the beginning, it's better.
Are you dreaming of an international experience? Perhaps you're looking for a new professional adventure in companies located in another region or country. But applying remotely is complex, requires a lot of paperwork, and you can't find anyone to be your sole point of contact. We support you from A to Z. For example, are you looking for a job as a developer in Europe? We find you job offers that match your wishes while presenting your profile to a selection of companies open to diversity and new forms of work. With us, you can define the level of flexibility that suits you, such as your teleworking or face-to-face wishes, the type of contract, and when you want to join your new host country. You choose. In order to start your mission in a few days, we can accompany you and get you started remotely and freelance. If you like the company, and if you wish, our teams will take care of your mobility and that of your family by managing all your procedures: immigration, housing search, and school enrollment. Once you've arrived in the country, you can, for example, work through our company Hope Services, in freelance again, or directly with your employer. We are the only player on the market to offer talents full support, including advice, but also all types of contracts, our experience in mobility, and our specialized training team. Every year, we support thousands of talents around the world in their international projects to make them possible, simple, and reassured.
All right, so I hope everyone enjoys the video. And now, just let's take a snapshot of the recruitment situations in APAC right now, focus on Vietnam, Singapore, India, China, and Thailand. So on the screen here, you can see clearly that we already listing top 3 APAC recruitment insights right now. The first one we have is IT and technology dominates. So across APAC, IT and technology is still the most sought after industry. In Vietnam, demand surged by 35% year over year, while India experienced a 30% increase. In China, although the overall recruitment demand is lower, but we can still see IT and technologies accounting for 25% of all of the job openings. The second insight we have is the growing demand for skilled workers. We all know that all industries are experiencing an increasing need for skilled talents, particularly in high-tech sectors like IT and technology. Also for manufacturing in Vietnam, also witnesses a very remarkable 25% year-over-year raise in demand for skilled workers. Last but not least, we cannot talk without the rising competitiveness. So APAC recruitment markets it become more and more competitive due to various factors. These include a growing pool of qualified job seekers, a high demand for skilled labor, and the globalizations of the labor market. In India, the average number of applicants per job opening has surged by 16% year over year. Now, let's take a closer look at the recruitment demand by industry table. Can you just get back to the yeah, thank you so much. We can see in the table here that there are different industry in each country, but in general, IT and technology is still present in all with a very high growth rate. So let's see the percentage increase in demand for recruitment compared this year compared to last year. We can see that Vietnam increased 20%, India increased 15%, China 10%, Thailand 5%, and Singapore 10%. So we can see that Vietnam is the highest country in this top 5 with the highest percentage. So overall, with no concern, IT and technology is still the leading industry group in recruitment demand from now and until the end of this year. So together with all of the positive signal we have here, despite the wave of layoff due to economic difficulty, surely there will always be challenge that as a business owner or as a professional HR persons, you will also have to face this every day. So we are here to get you there. We are staying in your shoes. So with the next slides, we also identified those top challenges for you. So here, first one, we will have the skill shortage. I believe that this is a very common pain point when it comes to hiring for everyone, no matter what kinds of business you have or what size it is. This is probably the top answer I will always get when I ask about the current challenge of the client or the prospect, especially in the IT and technology industry, where the market is not only competitive but also constantly changing. It's not only about the hard skills, but the soft skills, the behavior, the personality, and the cultural fit are also required commonly needs to put a lot of extra effort into that. And leading to that, how can we not talk about our talent, right? Because we all know that the core value of every business is about the team. And every single talent that we recruit, they will contribute to the company's success. Competition is everywhere, and together with a very huge pool of talent right now, we also have a lot of options. However, to be seriously digging deeper to find the right talents instead of a perfect one is always a challenge for people. And together with the high demand for recruitment, I also experience a lot of my prospects, a lot of my clients and companies right now are currently facing a big problem with labor laws and regulations, which can make the recruitment process more complex and time consuming, especially in India and in Vietnam market. Okay, so some of you right now will think, oh, it's all about challenge. Okay, challenge is a part of life. So the most important part right now is how can we find a solutions to overcome them all together with you? So in the next slide, we will share some advice for you. Okay, so first, I will combine the challenge of skill shortage and competition talents together. Think about first, embrace digital tools. By combining all of the process, all of the hiring status into one platform, you can just get there to read all of the qualified CVs and shortlists based on your requirement that our recruitment consultant or other recruitment consultant has updated them all there. Example like our Anywhere Manager, we utilize all informations in one platform. So our job together with using our Anywhere Manager, we can help you to cut off 50% of wasting your time for many emails, many calls to update about your candidate interview process. Instead, you can just take a few clicks to get to our platform to get what you want. Besides, with our various database of talents in there, you can also benefit from them. And then also choose wisely to partner with a global recruitment firm because it's going to help you First, to have a very trusted HR partner as the right hand to support you in your work. So from there, you can use that network, you can use their expertise, and you can also get a lot of insight from them to bring to your own market. And from there, both of you can find the candidate faster, effectively, and you can also better manage the whole recruitment process of your organizations. And last but not least, we have leverage employer of record, or we can just simply say EOR services. I believe that EOR is a very common word right now when it comes to some recruitment challenge, because the benefits of using EOR services is to ensure compliance with your local labor laws and also with the regulations. So to dig deeper into these EOR services, I'm proud to present our next speaker, Marco, also my very close colleague. He's currently working as a sales director from Horizons. We'll share more about his company expertise and to show you how EOR can just simply make your life easier. And I'm happy to wrap up my presentations about APAC recruitment insights, challenge, solutions right here. It's more about sharing and learning, so I'm open to any kinds of questions or any concern if you may have. So we will answer them all in our Q&A sections. And if you are happy for a collaboration discussions, just make sure to drop me a message or an email, and I'm happy to assist you. I think now it's time to give the spotlight for Marco.
Thank you very much for sharing your valuable insights, Tian, and also thank you very much for the smooth handover. I would like to start with talking about the reasons why companies approach Horizons in the first place, right? And what are common challenges that they are facing. Over to the next slide, please. Yes, thank you very much. So also based on what Tian has already mentioned, right? We do know the challenge of talent scarcity in the APAC region, right? There's just very intense competition for qualified talent that have the right skill set and the right experience for a specific role, right? And when being geographically limited to your home countries, right, to the countries where you do have your own entity, you are just losing out on a big talent pool abroad, yeah? Another challenge is, of course, also talent retention, right? When you hire staff abroad, right, outside of your home countries, it is really key for the success to understand also the labor market, the local working culture, and of course also the benefits that are key to finding and really keeping experienced employees, yeah? Last but not least, of course, it's also very, or can be very difficult and time consuming to always set up a local entity when you are looking to hire staff abroad, right? It's usually a very long process. A lot of costs are involved. And there are many compliance risks that you might face as a company, yeah? So how do we solve this challenge or this problem? It is with an EOR setup, yeah? So EOR, it stands for Employer of Record. And to put it very simple, it basically means that this solution allows you to hire staff in countries without having to set up our own local entity. Yeah, it's a long-term compliance setup to work with people abroad without having to register locally. Yeah? So how does the setup look like? Yeah, it is actually very straightforward. Our clients, they would have a global services agreement directly with Horizons, yeah. And at the same time, the local entities of Horizons in the countries where the team members are based, they would have the employment agreement. And at the same time, our clients, they would still retain the full responsibility and the full control over the day-to-day business relationship. Yeah? So in short, EOR providers like Horizons, they do handle the full compliance management. Yeah? We do handle or take over all the legal responsibilities and risks that are related to the employment. We do manage payroll, benefits, and the HR support locally, and also manage the on and offboardings. Yeah? And at the same time, our clients, they will still obtain the control over the team's tasks and responsibilities. They will have the big benefit of getting an access to a global workforce and not being limited to hiring in the countries where they do have their own entities. Yeah, and it just gives our clients this peace of mind when hiring globally, yeah, because they know that they do have a partner that will manage the compliance and all the legal responsibilities on their behalf. So why does it make sense to work together with companies like Horizons, right? One key point is that we do have local employment experts on site. Yeah, we do work with local legal and HR teams that would guide you and the employees that you want to hire abroad through the whole onboarding process. Yeah, we do offer these services globally. Yeah, while we are very strong in the APAC region, we do cover 180 plus countries worldwide. Yeah. Of course, EOR solutions compared to setting up entities will be the more affordable way to hire. Yeah. And the whole process is supported with a cloud-based HR management platform, yeah, which also includes additional services like, for example, contractor payments, the management of benefits, and also global mobility support. That's it from my side. Is there any question coming from the speakers? Not, then I will be handing over to Atish, who is an associate business development manager based in India, and he will share some valuable insights on mobility and integration topics. Over to you, Atish.
Thank you so much, Marco, for this amazing presentation and telling us how the EOR can be benefited for all the solutions. And good morning, good afternoon, everyone, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all on today's webinar. My name is Atish Nair, and I'm the Business Development Manager at Anywhere India. I'm honored to be one of the speakers today, as I'm really excited to share some of my knowledge and insights about the Indian immigration that I've gathered in some years. So during the webinar, we will delve into some of the key facts about Indian immigration and some of the trends in Indian immigration. And we'll also be looking at the various facts and trends about the statistics of Indian immigrants and foreign immigrants in India and across the globe. At the end, we'll be discussing some of the challenges about the foreign companies facing during hiring and transferring their employees into India. So without further ado, let's quickly get into the presentation. As you can see, these are some of the interesting facts and trends about Indian immigration. So one of the first fact is, like, as we know that Indian immigrants are everywhere. So if you can see the data, 1 in 20 immigrants are actually in India. And if you give the data, 18 million were, sorry, 18 million Indians were living overseas 2020. So to talk about the second fact, India is the top remittance recipient country. So by remittance is actually the fund that is flown in India by the Indians staying across the globe. And to talk about this data, it actually exceeds $86 billion, which makes it the top recipient in India. And the third fact is that UAE is actually the favorite destination for Indians. So as per the data, India makes up 30% of the population in UAE, with approximately 3.5 million Indians immigrants. Okay. The fourth data is that this is actually from, I got it from the Indian External Affairs, wherein the 40 million visa were granted between 2014 to 2023, and this data is still 23 till May. And the good thing about this is that Indian government is actually offering a lot of visas these days, so good for that. And let's go to the next slide, please. So Indian visa now, e-visa is now available for 117 countries. So for those who don't know e-visa is actually an electronic visa system introduced by Indian government, which actually eliminates the step to going to the respective Indian consulate and you can actually just carry the authorization and enter the country on the visa arrival. So this is now during the pandemic, it was suspended for UK and Canada. Recently, it has been restored for UK and Canada and other countries as well. So let's talk about the scheme that is being introduced by India. And this is actually a part of India-UK migration and mobility partnership. So in February 2028, the Indian Ministry of External Affairs launched the Young Professional Scheme. So this scheme is basically offers young UK and Indian graduates to work and stay in India and UK for 2 years without any sponsorship. So this is actually an amazing scheme for the graduates. They can stay in India or UK for 2 years. Another interesting scheme is actually between India and Australia for the Indian students staying in Australia. So this is a recently signed partnership, which is known as Migration and Mobility Partnership Arrangement. So as a part of this arrangement, this arrangement introduced as MATES, which is called Mobility Arrangement of Talented Early Professional Scheme. So this MATES visa is actually a pilot program, particularly for a young professional and graduates from India. So this MATES lets the candidate live and study in Australia for 2 years without any sponsorship. However, there is a cap to this. So the plan is to offer 3,000 temporary visas to young and skilled professionals. Can we move on to the next slide, please? So now let's look at some of the data that I gathered through various sources, and it is related to the data about immigrants in India. So you can see the first table, it shows the immigrants in India by country of origin. So again, this is actually data which is before the pandemic, and in some following months, we'll be getting the data others as well. So you can clearly see, this is talking about the immigrants in India. You can clearly see the 2.5 millions of all the immigrants in India are actually from Bangladesh, followed by Pakistan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, China, Myanmar, Uganda, UAE, United States, and Brunei. And if you go to the next table, which shows that Indian immigrants by country of destinations. So as you can see, the top 4 countries, which is UAE, US, Saudi Arabia, and Pakistan, clearly covers half of the Indian immigrants across the globe. And now let's talk about some of the foreign inward remittances, which is, again, as I said, the inward flow of funds from the Indian foreigners staying across the globe. So as you can see, this is data for last 5 years. So as you can see, this data is actually gradually increasing. And if you can point out at 2020 and 2021, the data actually reduced. This is because of the pandemic. And good thing is this data is again increasing. So this table I actually got from the RBI website, and I just thought of sharing with you just to see how our Indian friends across the globe are, how they're helping the Indian economy. And the last but not the least, this table actually shows from which region this remittance fund is coming. So you can clearly see 23.4% of this funds are coming from US, 18% from UAE, then UK, Singapore, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and rest is others. So can we move on to the next slide, please? Perfect. So now, as we discussed the various trends about it, so I just want to give you an overview about what are the challenges faced by the foreign companies, according to my experience. So the very first challenge is visa and work permit requirements. As visa and work permit regulation in India are very complex, and there are various categories to that. So the companies need to understand the different visa categories before they send their employees to India, as there's regulation there, and as you, the person, has to talk to the in-country specialist or Indian team, and we have a dedicated team who can always understand the requirement to make sure that the category the foreign is coming, all the compliance is met. Second thing is lengthy and complex application process. So the process of obtaining work permits and visa in India can be a time-consuming and bureaucratic. So the foreign companies, they usually need to provide extensive documentation, including employment contracts, job descriptions, proof of qualifications, and incorporation documents. So the next challenges which foreign companies face is localization requirements. So to hire a foreign employees in India, the company have to comply with local license requirements, because one of the requirements for an Indian employment visa and other visa is that the visa has to be sponsored by a local entity in India. So, and company may also need to demonstrate the skills and expertise of foreign employee to ensure that these skills and expertise are not readily available in India. So we, to solve this, to overcome this challenge, our team actually have a dedicated team. We have experience and skills in processing Indian employment visas. We sit with the team, we understand the requirement, we demonstrate, we create a justification for that particular role, and advise the client companies accordingly. So another challenges that the companies are facing is taxation and payroll. So as foreign companies operating in India, they must also need to navigate the country's complex tax and payroll regulations. They need to understand the tax liabilities and obligation associated with hiring and paying employees, including income tax, social security contributions, and applicable taxes. So what I would advise to all the companies is, before planning to bring any employee to India, please make sure that you have enough information about tax and payroll. This. So another challenge is, this is not related to immigration, but as you know that India is a diverse country with multiple languages, culture, and business practices. So sometimes foreign companies may face challenge related to language barriers, cultural differences, and understanding local business etiquettes. So to over this challenge, it is crucial to build effective communication channels and fostering this cultural integration in the organization. So in our team, we actually have various team members from various parts of the country. So we have these differences in India, and we have a lot of people who can solve this thing for all the foreign companies. Last but not the least, the restricted entry. So as most of you must be knowing that certain nationalities face restrictions or limitation on entry to India, either due to diplomatic relations, security concerns, or specific government policies. So these restrictions can create obstacles for foreigners seeking to visit or stay in the country. So all these challenges are actually there, and we at Anywhere, we try to solve almost all the solutions by providing expert advice. We make sure that we understand the assessment properly and giving the advice accordingly. So that's all from my end. And if any speaker have any question, I'll be happy to answer that.
So, thanks, Atish, for your presentation. So I have a question. Actually, it's quite often asked by our client. Like, for example, is it possible for foreigners who are working on projects in India with business visas and to switch to employment visas without like leaving India? And like, what are the steps they need to take like after arriving in India? Thanks.
Yes. So thanks, Lay, for this good question, because we usually receive this question from some of our companies as well. So first, to answer your first part of the question, no, it is not possible to convert a business visa in India. So the foreigner has to go back to the home country, apply for the respective visa category, and come back to India. Okay. And to answer your second question, which is the post-arrival formalities. So this actually matters. So depends on the duration of the stay. Let's say if the duration of stay in India is planned for more than 180 days, then the foreigners has to come to India and they have to register themselves with this FRRO office, which is a foreign regional registration office, which are there in all the part of India. And depending on where the intention is to stay for the foreigner, they have to apply within 14 days of the arrival. Okay, so that number is very important. And if there is any delay or any failure to do this, they can attract some penalty and it can affect a lot of things. So we always advise all our clients to apply for this registration as soon as possible. And through this FRRO, there are certain documentation that are required. And this is very, let's not consider that. So thank you so much for this question. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Yes, you did. Thanks a lot, Atish. Okay, and thanks again for your presentation.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this session, and without further delay, end of the session is, let's hear the interesting conversation between our my country manager from anywhere in China, Lei Fu, and he'll be joining with our in-country specialist from China, Angel Quinn. Over to you guys.
Thank you, Atish. Thank you. Okay, hello everyone. So my name is Lei. I'm the China manager at Anywhere Group. I'm based in Shenzhen. And today I'm very honored to invite our my friend as well and our long-term partner, Andrew Qian. And so, hi, Andrew. Maybe you want to say hi to the audience and like introduce yourself briefly.
Yeah, thanks very much, Lei, for the introduction. I'm Andrew. I'm the co-founder of the MV Unity consulting company. MV Unity is the China destination service provided with office in Shanghai and Beijing. We are offering visa and immigration service in over 13 cities across China. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's very impressive. Thanks, Andrew. So our topic today is China immigration in 2023. So navigating the post-reopening landscape in China. Mm-hmm. So as we all know that the COVID-19 pandemic has had a huge impact in like globally on the mobility of people and business. And how has the pandemic affected China's immigration situation?
Yeah, with regard to this question, I believe that this is not only about China, but also about the whole world, as things changed a lot during the past 3 years. So to control the spread of the virus, the China implemented the strict travel restrictions, health and quarantine measures, and the government also suspended the entry visa service for most travelers and reduced the number of inbound and outbound flighters. So this led to decline in immigration and affected the individuals who were planning to immigrate for work, study, or family reunion vacation purpose to China. Such measures also result in making the immigration process more competitive, prolonged the process of newcomers as well. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I see. So, yeah, so based on your experience, like how did the things change after China reopened its borders since January this year? So did you notice any changes in the expatriation trend of people like leaving or entering China, for example?
This is a good question. So China's reopening of borders in January 2023 put an end to the country's 3-year tightened travel restrictions due to the pandemic. So since 15th of March 2023, China has resumed issuing all types of visa to expats. So with the resumption of the visa issuance, expats who were previously unable to enter China would now have the opportunity to do so. And this could lead a surge in expats opting to move China for various reasons such as work, education, or business. And in the meantime, some expats who were residing in China and had left due to travel restrictions may now consider returning. So the opening of borders would all have facilitate business travelers and also the investment in China. Now we see a lot of the companies are restructuring internally and making new strategy on the development of work arrangement. In the respect, we hope things will be back on track and all of us will finally benefit from the positive changes in future.
Wow, thanks, Andrew. That's really interesting news, and I think the companies will be very happy to see the opening of China there. So,
sorry, we just have an issue, a mic issue that happens in webinar. So if there is no mic issue, there is no webinar. that's the reason. So, Lei, are you with us?
Okay.
I don't think so. So, Lei, I propose you to cut your mic and come back to the webinar just after. Maybe. Oh, Lei, you are not with us, but no worries about it. Maybe can I ask a question to Chen?
Yeah.
Chen, can you hear me?
Yes.
Nice. So, Chen, I don't have a question for you, but I think speakers have a question for you. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe Atish. Atish, have you a question for Chen?
Sure. We just lost Lei in the middle. So the other question that we had in mind is like, what are the current conditions and procedure for a foreign assignees who wants to work in China? Can you please shed a little light on that?
Yes. So typically speaking, a valid job offer from a fully registered company in China is required. And generally, the applicant needs to process relevant qualifications, work experience, and skills. The employer must be authorized to hire foreign employees in China. And legally speaking, an expat can only officially work in China after both work and a residency permit are issued successfully. It is important to note that the China immigration laws and regulation can change, and specific requirements may vary based on the individual circumstances and the different regions. So it is always advisable to consult with the relevant authorities or seek professional assistance for the most accurate and up-to-date information for detailed and specific procedure based on the assignee's designed work location.
Perfect.
Okay, nice.
Thanks for that, Angel.
Thank you,
And
Atish.
we have a friend Lei back. So thanks a lot for that.
Thank you for saving the webinar, Atish. You're the mind of the situation. So, Lei, can you speak with? I think your mic is going good. So I let you the floor, guys.
Okay, thank you, Julie. Thank you, Atish. Okay, and thanks, Andrew. so the next question is like, we all know that there's a lot of steps and paperwork coming to China. So how long does it take to obtain a work permit for China?
The time frame for applying a work permit for China can vary depending on various factors, such as the type of work permit, the specific requirements of the applicant, and the efficiency of the processing authorities. Generally, it can take anywhere from a few weeks to a couple of months to obtain a work permit for China.
Okay, I see. So thanks a lot. And I think what are the, for example, for some companies who are interested in investing in China, so what are the potential risks or challenges for them if they want to send an employee to try to work in China? So I know you have a lot of experience on that.
Yeah, for this question, I thought that the team already mentioned because in China we have the same challenges, and I would like to remind that due to the lifting of a travel restriction and a visa issuance resumption, so Chinese embassy experience a high volume of applications, and therefore delays may be seen in process. So it is recommended that to begin the application process well in advance to allow for any potential delays and ensure a smooth and quick application outcome.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Andrew. And thanks a lot for your valuable knowledge and experience with us today. Thanks again.
Thank you. It is very honored to be here to share our experience and also the insights together online.
Thank you. So I'll give back the mic to Julie for the Q&A session.
Thank you, both of you. So we will now move to our Q&A question answer. So don't hesitate to ask your question on the right of your screen. And I'm really happy to give you all the speaker answers. So we have got some questions. So I will just take the question on the screen. So we have a question. Hi, what size you will usually support for a project of immigration in China for manufacturing company? So I think Lei or Angel, you want to answer this question because it's speaking about China, but everyone can answer the question.
Yes, so sure. For immigration in China, I'll start. And Andrew, you can correct me. So we can support any kind of projects, whatever the size is, like from like 1 to 2 person or like a huge project over 100 people. But of course, it depends on the nature of the project. We will see in detail, for example, in some kind of projects, there are restrictions. So we're going to see like in details. If you're interested, please don't hesitate to contact us by email, and we will have like a one-to-one session and to discuss more about your project, etc. I hope it clarified the question.
I hope so. Thank you, Lei. So another question. What is Anywhere standing for by naming company name Anywhere? I think Chen wants to answer this question, or maybe I can.
So maybe I will start with my definitions about Anywhere at first. So Anywhere standing for any work, any way, and anywhere. Basically, it reflects our motto that talent is borderless. And we believe that there will be no border between a talent and a company that deserve and fix with that talent well. We also trust in the beauty of placing the right talents to the right job will change everyone's lives. Yeah, that's my definitions about Anywhere. Do you have any add-on, Julie?
Better. You're rock with this definition. Thank you, Chen. We have another question. So I will all put you on the screen. This is a question in the same question, sorry. Do you support for recruit position in Philippines and Indonesia?
Yes. Basically, Philippines and Indonesia, we work on a few projects in both Philippines and Indonesia before, together with a talent pool. So we happy to open for a discussion with you. So just make sure to drop me an email, and then I will in touch with you for further information.
Okay, thank you. I've got another question directly asked to me, but I think it's too late, but I will read it. What are some of the best practices or tips that you can share with us? I think it's about China, I don't think. Yes, maybe Lei, you can answer this question.
Yeah, thanks, Julie. I'll leave that to Andrew, as she's an expert in the China immigration. So Andrew, would you like to answer that question? Sorry, I will repeat the question again. So what are some like the best practices or tips that you can share with us for China immigration? Let's say, for example, for companies, what they should prepare in advance, etc.
We can't hear you, Angel, but I will maybe open your mic. Just, I can.
Sorry.
Oh, okay, nice.
Okay, thank you.
Go on.
So I think because the immigration process typically involves several steps, including the gathering the required documents, applying through the different channels, and ongoing the medical examinations. And each step might have its own processing time, and the delays may occur due to the factor beyond the application applicant the control. So it is still recommended that the company can arrange the assignment in advance.
Thank you, Andrew. So if I understand correctly, for the companies, they need to prepare well in advance for the whole procedure, so that they have enough time to meet the deadline.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Andrew.
Nice. Thank you to both of you. I've got another question, so I just put in the question session. Given by your expertise in EOR and the highly competitive APAC market, if you could give clients just one piece of advice when choosing the right EOR partner, what would it be? I think the question is for you, Marco.
Yeah, happy to answer the question. Thanks, Julie. So, of course, when you're looking for a EOR provider, right, there are multiple factors to consider, right? It can be local presence, the platform you're using, the cost. But if I really had to narrow it down to one piece of advice, and the most important factor, it would be choose a provider that has the local expertise, right? For example, if you have a situation where Anywhere is supporting you with the recruitment of a talent abroad, where you might not have an entity and you deliver then the onboarding and the employment through an employer of record provider, the most important thing is that you and the employee, they have a smooth onboarding experience, right? That you have a local provider that knows the labor regulations in the specific country, that knows which benefits to offer, that knows what are the social security regulations in the specific country. And this ultimately will lead to a situation where you not only win the talent, but also retain the talent in the long run. Yeah, so I'd have to say it would be choosing a provider with the local expertise.
Thank you, Marco. We have another question. I will put it on the screen. And I think I can answer this question. Is Anywhere is open for all the countries in the world, for example, for African and Algerian especially? And why can easily have chance for work or training? Of course, as Tian said, we are anywhere, anyway, any work. So we are open to all the countries, all the talent in everywhere in the worldwide. So I will just keep you the link to show you all the services we can offer to our talent and candidates. So feel free to go on the link and feel free to find the job of your dream anywhere in Africa. Thank you, Salah, for this question. Maybe someone wants to add something about it, or just I do well the job.
It's perfect. It's perfect, really.
Thank you, Chen.
Sorry, Julie, you're on mute.
Julie, you're still on mute.
Oh, sorry.
So we did not catch you for the past 20 seconds.
Bad host. Sorry for that. No, I just saying that we have another question. This is not really a question, but I will put it on the screen. Namaste from India. Thank you. Hello from France. I think I missed a good part of the discussion. I hope to watch the recording after this. Yes, no worries. I will send you the replay, the recording of all the webinar by emailing, but also you can find it on our LinkedIn, and we can find it on YouTube. So don't worry, you will will not miss everything. Okay, so it's hello, 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 hello. Good to be here. We are happy too. So I don't see other questions. So okay, so everything's okay for you, speakers, or do you want to ask each other questions? Just tell me, Lei, Qian, Angel, and Marco.
No, I think it's all good for me.
Nice. So, Chen, can you want to say a last few words to all the attendees, and then at the end, sorry, I will say goodbye to everyone.
So again, just thank you so much for your time, your effort to be here today to attend this webinar, not only for the attendees, but also for all of the speakers, and especially for the team, Julie, who stay behind of the spotlight, but taking care of everything so we can shine in this 1 hour. I'm glad that we already share a lot of valuable insights and informations in the spirit of learning and sharing is caring. So basically, if anyone still have any questions, or if you want to get in touch for basically just a coffee or a tea to get to know each other, then just feel free to drop an email to all of the email address you see on the screen right here. And we already entered Q3 of the year. So I wish everyone a very productive Q3 upcoming, and to overcome all of their challenge by all of the solutions that we have been shared together with all of the services that we offer right here at Anywhere. And I wish you all a happy weekend ahead. Thank you, team, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So just here to end the webinar, thank you to your participation, your question, and interest on the subject. We hope we answered all your questions, and if you have any further questions later, you can ask it, and don't hesitate. Feel free to send us your question. You will receive an email with the replay and the recording on YouTube and LinkedIn. I like to thank the entire team of speakers, Chen, Angel, Lei, Atish, and Marco, and also Maxence, which is in the backstage. This is my assistant, and he really helped me during this webinar. So thank you, Maxence, too. It remains for me to wish you a wonderful day, a wonderful morning, a wonderful afternoon, and even a wonderful evening. So see you in India, Vietnam, China, and in France. See you guys. Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.